Good afternoon, everybody. We will be with you shortly. Wasn't on. Good afternoon, everybody. We will be with you shortly. Check 1 2, check 1 2. All right, everybody. Good afternoon here. It is Thursday, the 21st of December. I've got Pedro Garcia in the house here as we get the show started.
What's up, peoples? How you
Pedro,
guys doing?
why don't you give everyone the
live
talk here?
on X? We'll do so. We live on X right now?
Oh, no, we should be. Yes, we are live on X.
Okay. All right, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. My name is Pedro Garcia, Crypto Chart Analyst. And I just want to say thank you for coming on this Thursday. I know many of you right now coming into Friday, especially a lot of you guys, and going, crap, I didn't go buy so-and-so presents. Probably tonight or tomorrow night. Hopefully not Sunday night when Christmas is there. But go get your presents. And while you're out there getting your presents, saying, Pedro sent me out, I got to go. Just tell your wife that or your kids that. Throw the show on, put it in your background for YouTube or on Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter, and just hit that like button, subscribe. Tell me where you are or where you would like to be in the world. As you all know, me chilling, drinking a Mai Tai or margarita, chilling on the beaches in San Diego is my home base. That's where I want to be, where I dream. I actually was talking with Striking here, where he was talking about Thailand and some of the adventures. So maybe someday I might check out Thailand.
Thailand is fun.
But either way, I know. Hit that like button. And if you can, if you're on YouTube, please hit those heart buttons. Those have actually been really helping us quite a bit, actually. So if you could hit those things, start tapping a roo. And see what we can make happen off of that, because that stuff does help. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who are doing it and here today on this fine festive Christmas season.
Very, very festive.
Thursday.
It's Festivus. It's so festive.
Very, very, very festive. Very, very, very festive.
All right.
So
I think
that's important.
Just a little behind here today, everybody. Getting going. But as they say, I'm just getting all the little things I like to work well. The scroller down here.
Scroller.
And I just got to resize the page a little to get it to be right. Nope, that didn't work. I mess with these things every day, but I like having a nice show for you. Something that's a little different than everyone else's Yo Bro show. But it takes a lot of work. Takes a lot of work, ladies and gents. Let's see what we got going on in the studio here. I don't have you in the background. There we go, Pedro.
Here we go.
The left back TV, that TV in the back corner back there. Let's get Pedro there. There we go.
How you guys doing? What's up, Mike? How you doing? It's good to see you. Oh, Canada.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't have those set up right. Today, unfortunately. So this might be a day of no sound effects. But welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining the show. Mike says he'll move over to YouTube in a bit. That's fine. Join the conversation over there later. But for now, you can give us some watch time over on Twitch. That's always good. We definitely need help on Twitch. YouTube, you have to pass all sorts of goals to become a partner, monetized partner, like very high. Twitch, the bar is pretty low, actually. If you can get people to regularly watch you on Twitch, you can make a partner pretty quickly. And then good things happen for you. They feature you more and all that. So watching from Twitch is good.
It's always good.
Just chilling, headed to Peg City.
Yeah.
Winnipeg?
Definitely. Winnipeg. As long as you're not getting it, you're going to go win it.
I probably haven't. I've spent now about I don't know, 7, 8 years. Actually, longer than that. I guess 9 years now. In Canada, and you don't hear the word Winnipeg that much. You hear it when they talk about hockey, or some awful snowstorm that's gone to minus 100 degrees or something like that. But the province of Manitoba just doesn't have a lot of people in it. The huge industry of agriculture and mining and transportation and all this type of stuff. So the words Winnipeg don't come across your mouth so often. But I got to tell you, in the past couple of weeks, we have focused on this city because we have a loyal viewer from there. So they get the VIP treatment.
Yes, sir. Loyalty.
All right, Pedro, let's get into the markets here this morning.
Absolutely.
Or this afternoon.
This afternoon. Well, it again is meme season. So we are seeing some memes popping like it's hot. I believe bonk is don't get in its way because I'll bonk you out. It is flying. I'm like, holy moly. Let's check it out. Bonk.
The question is why you have a slight echo and I can't figure out why. Just keep talking. I'll figure it out.
Bonk. So they're actually doing a little sell-off. Forgive me for saying that. But it's definitely going sideways. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. Let's check out Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is looking pretty fire. Let's check out SHIB. SHIB has made that big pump. We're consolidating right here, right now. So it's pretty nice. Right now we're just kind of seeing what it's going to do. Are we going to see a sell-off or are we going to see a push-up? Also, speaking of exploding, BNB, it is starting to really find its traction. And look, it popped up above the high of its previous high. And you all know, I always say, if it's going above the previous high and there's volume there, hey, it's probably going to continue. So we're already starting to see it move up here. So it's pretty nice in that aspect. On the backside behind it, if anybody really knows exactly why it's moving, I mean, they probably came out with some news and things like that. But hey, look, it popped up, came back down, retraced into a good area of demand. You can see right here where it went down into demand. You saw buyers stepping in, and now we're pushing up here. So it's really interesting to see what's going on here with BNB.
Wait, hold on a sec. Wait, I was in the background here fixing your the slight reverb on your voice here. Where did BNB go? Which time are you working on here? Time frame.
This is the daily.
So it's been going up for a couple of days here, and I haven't been paying attention. Yeah. I should have. It's gone up from, looks like on your chart, in the high 230s to, what's it at today?
Yeah. It's in that 270. It got up to 280.
Nice. When was the last time it was at 300?
I would say back in, so it sold off from initial sell-off of January 22nd, then it popped back up into a brief period. It actually went up to almost $400, and then I would say the last time it was up here was in May 19th, so May 19th of 2023. So we're talking almost 9 months, the 300. So potentially this could pop up here. It is starting to show a little bit of strength and push up. So really interesting to see what's going on. I mean, next thing we might see is a BNB ETF. And then that would be bad for oh shoot, I can't say CZ. Shoot,
no,
CZ
you can't. What's the new guy's name? LT Louis Tiong, or I don't even know.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, we'll find out. Well, listen, CZ will always be the heart of crypto. It was the face for a while, but
so BNB pumping is a good thing because there's a lot of money tied up in the BNB chain that is really not accessible until BNB pumps, because so many projects went down 90%. from November of 21, or 95% or 99%. And one of the reasons is that BNB went, it went from 680, wow, it almost got to 700. It went down to, it brushed under 100. Under 200. It flirted with like 197 or something like that at one point. And all those projects are paired with BNB. And so when someone sells off in those projects, a whale sells off, and BNB goes down, you get not just a doubling of the dumpage. You get, it's almost a square. You know, it's or not a square. It would be a doubling, a double upping, whatever. I don't know the right word. I'll have to do the math on it. But because the when BNB goes down, it drags down BNB's price. But as part of the liquidity, it draws down the value of the token too. So your wallet gets double hammered, and that's why you see things when BNB pumps. You know, BNB's up 10%. Projects don't go up 10% that are based on BNB. They go up 20%. Or there's a math line in there somewhere. And so having this start to turn around is going to pump some bags that people have left for dust. Or like say there's a lot of people in a project I'm involved in that put, $3-4 grand in it at the high. And now it's worth $100. And if we can get BNB to pump a little bit, all of a sudden there could be $500 there. And all that money can be released. People say, hey, I've got something again. And because they want their money, they'll sell and then take it somewhere. And Pedro, we had a discussion about this earlier. Maybe we were going to talk about it Monday, but let's just bring up the topic. Where are people throwing their money right now? And this goes against the topic of the show today. Where are people throwing their money right now?
Well, I think right now, hey, check your T.
Meme
quick.
coins.
Yeah, meme coins, absolutely. Meme coins. So we're starting to see some pumpage in meme coins, which is really interesting. Check TG real quick.
All right, Pedro. Whenever you do that, I'll talk about the topics of the day. Then we'll come back to you.
Okay, give me one. I got to take care of that real quick, so I'll be back. All right, literally, give me like 5 minutes.
All right. Well, while Pedro deals with a work phone call, let's switch over to the topic of the day. But what I was going to talk about with Pedro there, that's interesting that my voice is coming through Pedro's audio visualizer. Let me fix that while we're at this. People are throwing money at meme coins right now. I mean, we're watching meme coins all over the place just explode. And as they say, get all crazy. Let's see, that should be Pedro. There we go. Get all crazy. I mean, on every chain, there's one now. On every chain, there's a meme coin that's going nuts. There's there's Bonk. There's a chain that I heard about the other day or coin that went up 1,000% on. I don't even know the chain, Investia or something like that. Mike, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. I'll give you the. I'll give you. I think I can get if you pay attention for 1 second here. I can get you the. Let's do it. Let's do it for Mike, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, don't know if you heard that or not, but we hit the O Canada for you. All right, Mike, thanks for tuning in from Winnipeg. Apparently, he's driving into Winnipeg to do some Christmas shopping. That's happening to everybody these past couple of days here, including me. But anyway, what I was wanting to talk about, that I should say the topic of the day really is who's the real money printer out here. We talk about the Fed all the time. We talk about the U.S. government, the Treasury. We talk about other governments printing too much money, driving up the inflation rate, yada, yada, yada. But who is the real money printer? Who is the real money printer? It's this lady, right? Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood of ARK Investments. Let me see if I can bring that picture up on here. Cathie Wood of ARK Investments can basically print money, whatever she goes to. And the topic of today, I read this article earlier, then I was like, what is the good topic for tomorrow's show going to be? And I saw this article about Cathie Wood selling $245 million worth of Coinbase and Grayscale. And I thought to myself, something's ringing a bell here. Something is ringing a bell. And the bell was when she bought this stuff. Hold on, let me try and get the... Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Let me try. Let's see, browser. Where's that other one? All right, that browser. Where is that browser? There it is. Decrypt. ARK Investments. Here we go. All right, now I'm on track here, ladies and gentlemen. ARK Investments, Cathie Wood, is sold $245 million in Coinbase and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares in the last 30 days, since November 21st. And it doesn't say she sold all of it. She sold $245 million worth. You want to know what she bought that stuff for? And I know this because I followed the articles when she bought it. She bought those things for about $15 million. If you remember when Coinbase, and I remember watching the CNBC interview of Brian Armstrong, basically sitting there saying, look, we went to the SEC. We asked for guidance. We didn't get it. He said, here we are. We've got these products. You tell us that they need to be regulated. We went to the SEC and said, here we are. Regulate us. Do what you need to do. And the SEC said, get out. Get out. And don't come back. And they're like, but we're here. We need to register. In fact, I had the lawyer, Patrick Doherty, on this show that went with Coinbase, and he used a famous line. He said, I got rug pulled. I got rug pulled by the SEC. And then the SEC turned around and said, we're going to prosecute you for not being registered. Kind of weird. And so Coinbase's stock went down huge. It was tanking. The news was all over them. The media was trying to cancel them. You bad people. The SEC was on them. Twitter was like, oh my God, they're another one that's going down. But Coinbase had an ace up its sleeve. In that they were also behind the scenes negotiating with all these big companies to be the custodians for the ETF funds and the Bitcoin that all these companies invest in. And the word got out about that. And Coinbase's stock went up a bazillion %. Let's see if we can pull that Coinbase stock price. Oh, yeah, go ahead. If your Pedro's back in the house, thanks for... It should just be coin. Yeah, like here somewhere. What is that where I circled? Right, not a bad return at all. And the topic of the show today was making good investment decisions. Good day, Space Cat. Welcome to the show. Let's give you your props here. Space Cat, let me know if you heard your sound graphic there. I didn't look at my meter soon enough to see if it went out. I'm trying today. I told Pedro, I promise I'm not going to mess around with the audio today. It's just going to work. We're not going to do it. So if you didn't hear it, then might not mess with it. But anyway, this price down here, $34, whatever, it's $135. The topic of today's show, and it was this article that I read about Cathie Wood and her ARK Investments about making good decisions. And the article just comes out and says, one of the great things she does is invests her money and then takes profits. Just simply takes profits and not trying to shoot for the moon. You know, she said, okay, we bought at 34. It's at what's it at now, Pedro? 165 in stock. That's a big move in stock. Yeah, it's a big move. Oop, Pedro, you're back on me. Sorry, I just clicked you off there. But keep getting distracted here. Oh, good trading decisions. So she got to a point where it's entirely possible that Coinbase is going to go up a lot more because there's more and more good news coming out of this. And when the ETF stuff gets launched, there's certainly going to be a FOMO pump, and then they'll announce great numbers for the year. They'll announce all kinds of great stuff for the year because their stock price is up, which will FOMO it even more. And Cathie Wood and ARK Investments said, okay, hold it. We've made good profits here. We bought $15 million of stock and in options because she plays in both. And it's now, we've in the past month, we've sold off $245 million worth of Coinbase and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And so, Pedro, in your line of trading, would you qualify that as a good decision?
That was a great decision. I mean, she bought in at the lows, which is extremely hard to do, right? Like, I can see, like, for me, I'm looking at this point where we put in a higher low, right? Like, these were the areas that I was looking for, right? For Coinbase, if I was going to get it, I would have gotten in at a 50-ish area, and I would have waited for us to actually start to see a trend actually happen, right, on that daily. So potentially, like this, I might have been getting in, but this right here, this potential for me personally is something that I would have been looking to get in at these levels at 80. And I would have said, you know what, from here, my 80 and my, my risk would have been somewhere around 52. My entry would have been somewhere around 55, 60 here. And my goal would have been, a 2-to-1, right? Or it'd been higher than that. But I'm saying from my jump from here to here, we're talking that would have been risk reward. I would say maybe a 10-to-1 here at that level, right? But this for me is more consistent, right? That right there, this right here, that's genius. That's genius level. So for me, like for her to catch this and also to hold it. So I wonder, it's been interesting to see, like obviously this level here, she retraced half of what she made. So right here to right here and then come back down. It's a 50% retracement. So did she hold here to catch all this up here? Or did she sell up at the peak here at this weekly demand zone? And our supply zone, and then like.
Well, it said she started selling on November 21st, so you can figure that out.
November 21st is right here. Impressive, dude. Actually, I apologize. November 21st. Yeah, right here. So that makes about sense. So she sees the weakness coming in, with higher sellers stepping in, right? And all of a sudden, as it's pushing up, she sits there and says, okay, well, we're seeing volume step out, even though it's moving up. It's losing its Peter, it's steam here. And so it's going to stop pushing up. So it's a smart thing, right? Like I can see it. But right here, all of a sudden, she starts probably seeing after she's doing it, like, November, so this is right here. So she's probably selling off through here. She probably bought a ton right here through here. I'm pretty positive she just didn't buy right here, right? She bought in areas because large institutions.
She doesn't buy all at once. They trickle it in.
Yeah, they trickle in. So, whenever it hit a certain point, if you know what a VWAP is, you understand like they buy and sell off the VWAP on it kind of on a daily basis so that they don't explode their position and throw off their position. So she did a great trade here from here to here. I wonder if she's going to leave um, Coinbase at these levels and just leave, maybe leave 5% in, 10%,
It's a good
right?
question.
And, and I mean, potentially, in this bull run coming up, we could see, you know, um, a chart that does a new all-time high. What would be funny is you almost had two different types of um, entry levels, right? Where you actually have the coin or you have the stock. It'd be awesome to sit there as we move forward and we start to see tokenization or a TriFi assets become tokenized, and then even DeFi assets become TriFi, right? Where they sit
Yeah.
there and it can actually, I mean, that'd be dope to be able to play on both ends. That would make Wall Street go crazy. I mean, more assets to trade and potentially, you know, play on an opposite effect where it's non-correlated, whereas almost the token itself every 4 years drops high and low, and but the stock itself stays pretty steady where it kicks off dividends. That would be nice for them, like from
That's
that
true.
or staking rewards. So it's kind of a win-win on both ends. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful trade. The thing I thought more importantly, like I saw it at 30 cents, or excuse me, $30 here. And I said, you know what? Because I didn't understand crypto, right? And I fully acknowledge that I didn't understand crypto. I thought crypto potentially was going to be kind of dead again, but the more and
Yeah.
more I'm in here and the more and more I've sat here, I'm like, well, I like crypto. Even if like you even seeing a 2x or a 3x is impressive, right? In traditional finances. But the more I realize, like, this is a cyclical thing. The more OGs I talk to, the more majority of them say, listen, this will happen every 4 years, probably for the next 10, 15 years until the rest of the world gets involved. But you're going to see these type of movements again. So it's not like you're late to the party. It's just that you're getting in kind of a little before. So it's almost like depends on when you get to the party, right? If you go in at the end of the party, there's really nobody there. If you come before the party really gets going, there's nobody there, right? But right now, I almost feel like we're just, like people are starting to arrive. Last year it was, kind of like I got in a little. I thought I got in late, but I realized, most people aren't here yet. Like most of them, I came a little early, and it's gonna be really interesting to see this next bull run and who gets in, who doesn't, what to look for. TriFi people look at DeFi quite a bit. So it's one of those interesting situations as we move forward. Like, you know, ARK Investments is impressive. I wonder what they're looking at next,
Right.
right? Like, are they?
Exactly. That's Pedro. You hit it right on the head there. Because once I realized that, I was like, oh, they bought low here and this, and bought and sold high here. I was like on Google, like, okay, what else is going on? What other articles did they showed up of them buying stuff? And there really wasn't any. So I'm like, I gotta find out. It's like what movie was it a long time ago in which they wanted to find out information about a competitor? So they sent the junior guy off to the private airport to track the flight where the guy went. And this is before Flight Tracker and all that type of stuff. But he went and basically bribed the girl behind the counter. With Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen. Greed is good. What was that?
No, not Wall Street. Yeah, Wall Street.
Was it just Wall Street? It wasn't.
Yeah, it was Money, Wall Street.
Greed.
I know
good.
exactly what you're talking. Yeah,
Blue Star love or such and such loves Blue Star. That was the code for ruining his father's airline.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, that was the point. Is that if you want intelligence, I wish we had a little spy in her office. Like, what are they working on now? Like sitting on having someone sit next to Warren Buffett and just listen in. What are they doing now? I got to tell you, I watched Warren Buffett get in and out of the railroad industry, and I was going to kind of copy trade him, and he bought big into the railroads, and he bought we'll say, he kept adding parts of other companies to it to expand his portfolio. And all of a sudden one day, he just dumped that shit. Just, we're done. We're out. And everyone was like, I thought you were in there for the long haul with the railroads. And he's like, I can't deal with them. It's not working out as planned and stuff like that. And I was like, I wonder why. And it turned out it wasn't meeting his expectations for the growth of the company, and not just the growth, but the cash that it throws off. Railroads can't grow that much because there's only so much freight, and it's not like it's not a huge growth industry, but it can become a more efficient industry, and small trends can affect their volume, sure, to make more money. But he said it just wasn't working right, and so I was thinking about that as part of today's discussion too. Is earlier we were talking about taking profits. You also have to talk about make sure you're good with your mind about taking losses and not riding it to the bottom. Like in crypto, you can ride something to the bottom. With the railroad company, you're not going to ride it to the bottom. You just, the stock may go from 100 to 80 and you're down 20%. But Warren Buffett, the man himself, said, I'm out. It's not growing like we thought. And even if the company is not going anywhere, even if it's just steady and turning in 2 or 3% returns, he said, that's great. The company's doing good. Management's doing good. Not risking anything, pulling in lots of cash. But it's not enough for how we want to use our cash. And Warren said, okay, I'm selling that turd. The turd meaning it was still profitable. And I'm going to use our cash to invest in something that's going to generate, what's his average return? 20%? Berkshire averages 20% growth a year. And so I'm down, even if the railroad company was throwing off 5% here, 5% of many billions of dollars is serious money. It's like, Tether investing in U.S. Treasuries, and it's throwing them $5 billion a year in cash from the U.S. government. Buffett says, that's not a good use of my money. So for the viewers here, I bring this up and I go on about it, is what's the best use of your money to meet your expectations? And you might say, yeah, investing in this stock is good because it's safe. This is the best use of my money. But if you're trying to day trade or make some money in this, is earning 1%, 2%, 3% the best use of your money? No. And so the point is that you have to come to a point where you have a rule in your head. And that rule is that if something's not performing as planned, you have to take action. If the price is tanking, you have to have a limit in which you do sell and get out and not hold it and ride it to the bottom. Obviously, there's projects that ride to the bottom and then go back up. Bitcoin is famous for that. It went down 90% like 4 times in its life and came right back. So there's always something good out there. Yeah, but Bitcoin did it, so I'm going to ride this to the bottom and hopefully it'll go back up. But 99% of things ride to the bottom and they're done. Like whatever you're looking at there. FTT, yeah, good. Yeah. FTX rode it to the bottom. It's done. Yeah. And everyone that's stuck with it is penniless now, or at least in that account. And so the point remains is that I brought up, not to cut you off, Pedro, but I brought up the thing about Cathie Wood saying knowing when to take profits. She might be missing out on $700 million right there. But she put $245 million in her pocket. Is there any viewer here, Space Cat, Mike, Kaching, whoever, that doesn't want $245 million in your pocket? Right? Mm-hmm. And would you trade that for $700 million if you might not get $245 million? No, you take the $245 million, right? Now, that doesn't mean she didn't leave some money in there, and if it goes up again, she's not going to make another $200 million. The point is, she said, I could make a lot more, but we have a rule here, and that helps us stay profitable. And Cathie Wood, being the Warren Buffett of crypto, is taking profits like nobody else and putting it in her pocket.
Well, I mean, she needs capital now. I mean, for the potential bull market coming in. So that $250+ million, she's diversifying it. I wouldn't be shocked for her to get into some really big plays. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if she wasn't in, like she's waiting for maybe even a retracement with Solana, right? Like Solana is gangbusters. It is.
Oh, good Lord, is it gangbusters? Like, F me, man. That. Fork me.
like when you look at this, I mean, literally a month and a half, 2 months ago, we sat there looking and saying, oh, it's getting going, right? And I sat there and I said, I think we'll probably see it at 50 here. But I was shocked when it went through this zone, and now it's just like, look, it just keeps going. Solana, that Solana phone with H&T and all the other mining
Yep.
potential money, I mean, it's still not really selling for a lot of money. So it's like,
It comes with
this is
bonk.
it,
You can do helium on it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's sickening.
Yeah, so it just makes sense overall why, from a, like, you look, hindsight's always 2020, but it just makes sense why when I look at Solana going, huh, yeah, I can see why. You know, they've got a fairly good network, they've got fairly good transaction um income coming in from their own network and what they're doing. So now they have the Solana phone and that money's popping in. You know, the next model they come out with is going to have better cameras, better this, better that. Plus, it makes you money, right? So it's
Right.
like
Right.
it just makes sense, right?
Zach says,
Why?
is Solana about to pass BNB and get to $100?
You know, I actually I wonder what the
It's got to be close on market cap. I'm sure that's what he's referring
yeah.
to.
Yeah, it's exactly what he's referring. Let's check that out here real quick. We'll just see.
Let me find a.
Coin market cap. And you know, it's interesting. No, so it is pretty close though. So you can see here that the coin. Oh, whoa, wait. Excuse me. I was looking right here. 40 million, dude. It's literally only $700 million, dude. It literally is popping like it's hot right here. We just literally saw it go from 40 billion, 80 million. Look, it's literally jumping, and
I'm disgusted with myself. I'm just disgusted. I am absolutely 100% disgusted with myself.
You know what? It's one of those things, man. I mean, it's just how did you know that this was gonna happen, right? I mean, look at XRP. This is sad. Like, when I think about XRP, like it's saddening because here's XRP, right? Like, XRP was supposed to be the golden child of, and look, boom, it sits here, like, and you know how many people are sitting with XRP bags,
Oh,
right? Versus Solana bags, yeah. Like, it's like a Solana bag holders going like, yeah, what? Look at me now, right? Like, look at me now. I look at me now, right? Like, especially down in these levels, man. Like, these levels at that 15 area. You know, it's one of those things. Like, it's nice. $15 versus $100. Not a bad day.
Pedro, tell me when it was that that Solana really tanked. It was right after FTX, right?
Yeah, I would say it went from 40 to 15. It was a pretty big drop. And then we saw another big drop when it went from 140 all the way down to 26. And this was
here I am. Here's the idiot of the day. Who's the idiot of the day? Me. As I said, I'm owning it. Solana wrecked. I featured them season 3, episode 3 of Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked, and went on about them about tanking because Solana got in bed with FTX, and the Solana Foundation didn't mind that FTX was taking a massive position in Solana. And for sure, I'm not going to accuse anyone of anything, but had to have been some behind the scenes thing, because anything that went on with Sam SBF turns out that there was some craziness going on behind the scenes, and the man's going to jail for it. So everybody thought that when FTX would have to sell off their Solana, which they did, and it tanked, but they had millions in staked Solana. And so everyone's like, well, that's going to get sold off as soon as it unstakes. I better take my profits now. And it drove Solana all the way down to 8. But then the staking turned out to go on for another year. And the bankruptcy court said, oh, we're not going to dump this stuff. In fact, we're going to probably just keep most of it, and FTX will just keep it. And if we do need to sell some to raise cash, we'll do it over the counter. So it doesn't affect the chart, and we'll have a contractual sale for it that the bankruptcy judge can oversee and approve. And it's turned it around. And why at that moment, the old Winston Churchill phrase, never let a crisis go to waste, was a moment when you should have pressed that buy button. You know, you get that gift that's like, beep, beep, buy. I should have bought Solana options. Just, ugh. Anyway.
Could have. Well, here's my question. So you're telling me that they still have staked options in Solana?
FTX still has Solana staked, yes.
Okay. And FTT sold off. FTX. That's... How much do they have? You said millions? What are they going to do with that money?
Hold on, I'm texting someone real quick.
The reason why I bring that up is because, like, you just put 2 and 2 together there. Potentially, this is a hidden gem. I mean, in all reality.
Yeah, no, if the bankruptcy court pulls FTX out, let me rephrase that. If John J, whatever his name is, comes up with a decent plan,
Smith.
comes up with a good plan to talk about it. Sorry, I got 3 topics in my head going on at once. If he comes up with a good plan to restart FTX, and actually has something there, so we've got assets that we have enough liquidity that will be able to be in exchange, and they offer no fees trading for a while. They'll get people to go to them. Day traders will run to them, especially if they offer futures. They'll run to them, and they'll have something to go, and that FTT coin could come right back.
In all
it doesn't
honesty,
need to come back much to make a fortune either. It's all the way down here.
Yeah.
Put $1,000 in it. 10x is right. What here? What?
Well, what happened? Oh, okay. This is when Sam was sentenced, right here in November 9th, November 10th, when he started to get in trouble. So he was brought into court, which is funny, right? It explodes when he gets into court. So I wonder if he personally has FTT and FTX coins still in his personal wallet. And because how would they know that? Did they find that?
All we know is they haven't found everything, but the man is not going to jail for a short period of time. He's going for a long period of time. I'm betting he could have bargained. He could have said, all right, you're going to send me for 20. How about some of this money magically reappears?
Not 20. Not 20, 100.
Yeah, I don't think.
Remember, he has 2 life sentences. I don't think he's going to go. I think that was all a show. I very much, dude. Do we understand that the elites don't go after their own? I mean, they do, but they don't. This is a genius kid. They're not going to let that talent waste. They're not.
Well, he's already in jail. It's not like he's out and hanging out. He's in the joint now.
Very much. Is he in jail? I thought he was.
Yeah. No, there was just a good story about him not adapting well.
Really? What? Now I'm curious. What? Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, he's doing that. There's an article about him not adapting well to jail and not having freedom to do whatever he wants because he's even during the article that came out after the trial was over. The jurors and everybody and the people that watched the trial were like, it's like he wasn't even there. They're like he was so in his own little world. Even when he was answering questions, people are like, "What? No, that's not how it was at all." Here we have the accounting, we have the books, we have the legal opinions, we have your vision of this, Sam, and it's why he convinced everybody to throw so much money into it. He had an alternative reality that he convinced everybody of, and he didn't do it based on business decisions. He did it based on hopium and guesswork, and the fact that the crypto people pumped his token so much that he was able to sell it or use it as collateral to invest in other things and look like this huge, awesome guy, when really it was all just a Ponzi scheme. And he believed that was not a Ponzi scheme or a scam of any kind. He famously wrote when he first got arrested, and they're like, you have not before he got arrested, when his company was crushing it or getting crushed. And he said, no, look, here's my balance sheet. It's nice and healthy. And the balance sheet was like a handwritten Excel document. It was just like, it wasn't a balance. It was like, A through E columns and rows 1 through 4. And he said, see here, we have all these assets. And people are like, that's not a balance sheet. And he's like, yeah, here's what we have. The wallets add up. This is what we got. And they're like, no. Balance sheet stems from business operations and it encompasses everything you do. Salaries, what's in the petty cash account and all this type of stuff. You also have profit and loss statements. You have a statement of cash movements and this type of stuff. And they're like, and he's like, oh, see, look, here's this back of napkin drawn thing. So he was in his own, and he actually believed that. And he said, no, our company's profitable. And meanwhile, everyone run into the feds. Everyone's doing everything. And he's just in his own little world. So kind of weird. It's very strange. Very, very, very strange. But
is he in regular population?
I don't have any idea. It was just you can probably Google a couple of articles about it.
That's interesting.
Here's the okay. And on smart trading, if you're going to look up something, I'm going to say let's review. Take profits. Everybody knows this. Take profits, but you don't. People don't. They FOMO. They wait for it to go down or go up higher, and then it dumps on you. Take profits. Know when to take a loss. And 2 or in 3, what's the third major rule of trading we're about to teach you? Don't scam anyone.
Don't scam it.
The government will come knocking one day. They always do.
They do. They come knocking. It's sad. And I say this because I don't think this is going to be the last one, right? Like we see this, every bull run and every bear run, or every bear market and every bull market. So it's like, who's next, right? But it's sad because it's sad to sit there and see what's actually happening. If he had actually if he had actually listened and really kind of worked through with people, what could have done? What could have been done? And what, I don't know. I always think about that. Like if it wasn't so bad, but we'll see, But I'm looking at this coin, FTX. I'm kind of mad that I didn't. It literally hit my zone at the $1 mark here.
Now look at that chart. Look at that. Well, how many years is that chart?
This is 2020.
What's this time here? 2020?
2019. This is December of 2020.
That money that came in there, or I shouldn't say came in. I should say the money that was pumped. It's billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Anyway, quick side note here. I had brought up Zach Humphreys talking about Solana and that it was pumping. I just tried to have Zach come on the show and talk about it, Solana and some other things. And he said, I'm actually in the middle of recording something right now, so I can't come on. But he did extend his Christmas holiday wishes to Pedro and I. So it says, awesome. Hope you guys are doing well and have a great Christmas. So thank you, Zach. We will see you in the new year and do a little show collaboration and stuff. Zach's currently killing it right now. His channel's growing like crazy. And his algorithmic trading platform is apparently signing up people like left and right too. So, Zach, hope you have a great Christmas and Happy New Year.
Absolutely, man.
I hope you were listening when I said that because you were listening earlier, but not now.
Man, it's glad to have you here. So was he listening on YouTube?
Apparently, I'm not on LinkedIn today.
Nice. Oh, nice. That's dope. I want to bring this up because potentially. And I'm not subscribing to do this, right? But look at that. That is so cheap. Even if it just goes to 30, or this peak here, it potentially could just shoot up. And I'm looking at this going like, well, it is above the 100, and then it is, and it's sitting on that 50 period moving average. man, I mean, it could drop between here, find support at this level again. I don't know. It's interesting to see what the CEO is going to do. Is the CEO what other things has he? Anyways, we'll talk about this later. But I just think that's really interesting to sit there and engage what the actual market is doing right now here. Versus I would think it would sell off even more, but it's holding pretty good. And what is FTT actually on? Like, if somebody wanted to buy FTT, could you buy it on crypto.com, or is it delisted? I mean, where would you
I don't know. Check CoinMarketCap. It'll probably, or CoinGecko. It'll probably tell you.
They probably took it off. FTT. Let me think. Let's see. You're right.
You never know.
You're right. Yeah, good point. This is crypto.
Right.
Yeah. Good point. FTT. There we go. FTX token. Yeah, they did.
FTT it's trading at.
Whoa. Nope.
No, it's here. FTT. It's on CoinMarketCap. Says you can still get it on PancakeSwap. Pionex, Bitmart still trading it.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I can't tell from this if it's trading or not. It looks like they've timed them out, or delisted them.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, if you wanted to get in on this, like, it's not this. I mean, this is a Hail Mary play. Just so.
Oh, it says list Gate.io. You can check Gate. Pretty easily, right? Even if you're not a subscriber to Gate. Let's see.
Gate. Are you looking for Gate.us? Yes, I have to go for. See, this is what's so dumb about freaking.
Yeah, FTT to USD on Gate is 3.5. So I don't know if it's the same thing. And it's trading.
Very interesting.
If anyone listening knows anything about where to buy and sell FTT. Let's see. FTT to USD, FTT to
spot.
FTT to ETH. Oh, are you looking at a chart?
Yeah.
Your chart there to
UST, yeah.
What's the price of it?
It's straight up 360 right now. It's trading.
Yeah.
As
that's what
I
I've got it at.
live right now.
Gate has it at $3.60 also.
Yeah, you could.
Oh, and it's pumping green now that we're talking
volume.
about it.
No,
all you viewers out there, you're pumping it.
You're getting this thing pumping. Pump it. Yeah.
12 viewers today. I thought we'd get more 12? viewers during the Christmas kind of lead up here with people taking time off work, or if they're at work they just don't care and they're doing their YouTuber stuff. But apparently I was wrong.
Well, appreciate you guys. I mean, either way, you 12, we appreciate you. If you guys could hit that like and subscribe button, talk to us, tell us what your guys' thoughts are, views on life and money and this wild and crazy show.
Welcome, as I say here on the show, welcome everyone. Please comment, like, share, follow. Just do it. Just do it. For those of you that did join us recently on the Tweeter, I saw that view count go up a little bit. I know you're only tweeting. People only view Twitter videos for about 30 seconds and then they're done. But stick with us. We're talking about kind of the general things to do when you invest. We're taking after who's the real money printer here. The real money printer in crypto is Cathie Wood at ARK Investments. She just makes good decisions. Specifically, know when to sell and take profits. Know like her partner in the TradFi world, Warren Buffett. She knows when to sell to take losses. She never lets a good crisis go to waste, because generally when a crisis happens to a company, they eventually do come out of it. If you're an old stoogey company like General Electric, They had a crisis and they just flat out blew it. That's different because it was not a growing industry. But you're in a crisis in a growing industry, and you come through that. The market rewards you, and like the market's rewarding Cardano, the market's rewarding Solana.
Yep.
They all imagine if Bitcoin pumped like Solana did. Imagine if Bitcoin went from 30,000 to 400,000 in 2 months. Imagine that the people would be full. Every car's license plate would say "Thank you, Bitcoin" on it now. Every yo bro would be back to being an investment advisor. I loved those. Those guys made me so happy. It's after spending time in the finance world and stuff. Successful people in it, and how hard they work. And they work hard at it. They get up early. They're in bed late at night. It rules their life.
Yep.
And all of the people, I shouldn't say all of them, many of the people that bought Bitcoin in 2010, 11, and 12, when it was very chump change, and they rode it up to 40,000 and sold, and they bought their cars and all this stuff, and they got wealthy. Every one of them turned into an instant expert. Like, I am now wealthy, so I'm an expert, and I am a leader, and I can give speeches and talk about stuff. All they did was get lucky. And I understand that investing, there's a lot of things that you can get lucky on, and you just go with it. Space Cat says, I'm still trying to learn to take profits. Yeah, you got to do that. I'll be signing off. I'm off to the chiropractor. Get that back straightened out there, Spacecraft. Thanks for tuning in, Space Cat. I really appreciate it. Oh man, I totally lost my train of thought there, and it was a good one.
We're talking about learning, like how the bros
and then the yo bro guys are like, I can go up and give speeches because I'm an expert at this now. All they did was get lucky. A lot of times you need luck. Like a lot of these meme coin profits, people are lucky because they got in just at the right moment before it exploded, and they hit that sell button 5 seconds before the whale dumped it, and they either lost their money or just didn't make any money. Luck is good in finance. It's not the rule. It's good. And you run into plenty of bad luck too. Like Pedro, you had an example earlier. You're talking about investing in something and you knew it was a sure thing. You did your research. It was good. And then when the event happened, some other news overshadowed it. So it didn't work. And you're like, that's bad luck. And that happens too.
And it happens to everybody. I mean, I don't care if you've been in this industry and you do real work. And here's the thing. You have to do real work. You have to go through and you have to look. And listen, I'm not a fundamental guy, so I'm not going to pretend like I am. But I put many hours as a TA, and I also do look my best to really sit down and look at price per share. I really try to sit there and try to gauge what's actually going on with the leadership, reading everything if you can. I mean, it'll take you 3 to 4 weeks just to have a semblance of a company, right? And gauge kind of where it's going. And these guys who really, I mean, they're dealing with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of people's money. And they got to know, like, okay, is this really going to work? I'm dealing with real money. And so they put in copious, 6 months of, and I mean 6 months of statistical analysis, checking everything out, going to the industry, going to understanding the industry in which that entity is a part of. And a yo bro goes, hey man, I bought in right at the very bottom here because I'm all that in a bag of chips, super size. You just follow my statement, right? And I don't ever claim to be a professional, but
as soon as you make that claim, that's when God presses that karma button. Boop. Your investments went to zero. Right. Exactly. That's when you get boisterous. What was that example we were talking about the other day about about karma? Was it with Colia? Was that?
Yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
No,
it was
I think
funny.
it was Carmen. Was it Carmen?
Or it was Carmen. Someone got too cocky and, it doesn't matter if you're religious or not, whether you follow religion or whatever, but there's someone somewhere, I don't care what you believe in or that has a big red button. Actually, it's a big poo emoji button. That's what it is. And it's whenever you get too cocky or you're too sure of something, they press that button. Boop. Yeah. And the karma comes and gets you.
I like that.
And you're like,
remember Justin's son before his thing fell up? No, not Justin's son. Excuse me. Do Kwon, not Justin's son. Yeah. Is it Do Kwon or Do Kwon?
Are you any good at Asian languages?
Either I listen, out of respect, I'm not, I mean, again, speaking of being cocky, right? We don't want to, but like, Do-Kwon or Do-Kwon, forgive me if I mess that up. But one of the things I want to bring up is he straight up says, and I forget what he was talking about, what actual coin he was talking about, an entity, but he just said, and he was being recorded, and and it was actually something that was broadcast all over the place, right? Like he literally said, right now we're in a downtrend, blah blah blah. We're gonna start seeing some stuff, and listen, sit back, enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? It's actually gonna be funny for many of you guys to watch. I'm gonna laugh. Said something basically like that. Forgive me, I know I'm quoting him horridly, but he basically was cocky, right, with the interviewer as he was just talking up, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we're all that in a bag of chips, supersized." And and sure enough, like 3 days later, 4 days later, he's bankrupt, and it was sad. I don't, and I sit there, and it's not like you're trying to be arrogant or cocky. I just think he was in the system so long that he felt like he was impervious to certain things. The guy was a multi-billionaire. I mean, like it wasn't like that wasn't anything arrogant to sit there and say. Yeah, but overnight, like literally over a few nights, he basically became poor, all over again. And I think what it was is, I think he also made another comment on another open, I don't know if it was a comment thread somewhere, but I remember he said, somebody was calling him out. He goes, "What do you have to know? You're poor." Right? So basically what he said. And I remember I was sitting there in my community, and somebody brought that up to him. I was like, oh my goodness, why would you sit there and say that? Even if you are but then I thought, you know what? It's the joys, it's the hubris of youth. I mean, what was he, 30? Like late 20s, early 30s. So you remember how stupid you were still in your 30s? And a lot of these guys, actually, you put it up. I'll put it like this. Anybody who's older than 40, right? Like looking back, even in your early 30s, you're like, I can't believe I did that in one of my 20s. Then you get to your like 40s, and you're like, oh my, dude, what was I thinking or saying? I'm an idiot, right? It's like you just look back and go, oh dear Jesus, help me, please. So like, I almost think like these guys, like Solana. I think not Solana, but Solana. How old is not Chuck? Is it Chuck? I'm trying to remember. Who's the CEO of Solana? He's an older guy. He's in his 50s, right?
Yeah, I mean Cardano is Charles.
Cardano. We'll just use Cardano. And the man's in his 50s. The guy's
Charles Hoskinson. Can't get his name.
They know how to weather the storm because they've been through storms, and they know not to get cocky, because once you get cocky, life wants. All right, fine. You want to play? All right, we'll see how you can. Let's see how strong you are.
Exactly.
What is it? What's that old Rocky? The old Rocky thing. I was in Rocky 6 when he's like, you think you can get hit hard? You think you're tough? You ain't as tough as life. Life will hit you and knock you out, man. It's not how many times you get, you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up. And like you said
exactly
perfectly
right.
earlier today, like it's about
how many times you get back up.
It's it. Get back up. And I respect.
I got a lot of mat marks on my face, and I keep getting up.
Get up, because sooner or later, like here's the thing, you keep learning. And that, like when you get to a certain point in age, you sit there and go, I don't know it all. I've eaten Matt too many times. I would rather be quiet and listen and ask questions. And it's okay. I think you can be a little like not arrogant, but like playfully, where you're like, well, I don't know about that one. But in the back of your mind, you better have a real thought of, I could be wrong, so I better listen up and be able to pivot if I need to. Right? Like, I think that's just really important to just keep that in mind of like, don't be arrogant, like it's like trading. It's a statistic, right? Like,
yep.
You could,
I agree with that. All right, Pedro, I'm going to take this moment to do a little sponsorship talk. And on the screen here, I have Circle informs clients of IRS inquiry into $20,000 annual transactions. And so what the IRS did is they issued a summons to Circle. Circle didn't just run USDC. They also at some point thought they would expand and got into cryptos, and they owned part of Poloniex, which ended up exploding. And they did some other things. And so the IRS is interested in people that have used USDC in large amounts. And they sent a summons or subpoena to turn over all information regarding anyone that's had $20,000 in volume with Circle. That doesn't mean that you've traded $20,000 in USDC between, or sent between you and a friend. What that means is that you've used Circle and had an account with Circle or on their crypto subdivision company. Man, I can't even use the right words today. Subsidiary that was dealing with Poloniex. And they're going to get it. And Circle is telling everybody, hey, we are turning over all the information to the IRS. As a warning, but also as good customer service. And I say this as part of the sponsor talk because right below me here is Camuso CPA, and Patrick Camuso at Camuso CPA, as I always like to say, is one of those people that says I can give tax advice and I can give financial advice because that's what he does for a living, and he can go back and get you fixed up in your taxes. Now, the Internal Revenue Service, if they discover that you are trading from Circle lots of cryptocurrencies, and if you've ever used any wallet there that's sent it to an exchange, they've subpoenaed almost all the exchanges that operate in the U.S., and they know whose customers' wallets are what. They'll attach the exchange wallet or account with your DeFi wallet or however you used it. And so what Patrick does is he says, hey, we can not only get you ready for the accounting and to file your taxes this year, get your accounting up to date, make sure you've done everything right, and then file correctly. We can also go back and fix your past years. And so if you're someone that says, you know what, I traded a lot of stuff that ended up going through Circle and their subsidiaries, your information is going to end up with the IRS. And if you're one of those people that said, oh, it's just crypto, it's a secret, nobody knows anything, that would be incorrect and would be a bad move. And so I highly suggest not just contacting any accounting firm, because Patrick has taken on a lot of Camuso CPA has taken on a lot of cases that came from other accounting firms. The people said, "Oh, but I used big company X, and I still got this notice from the IRS saying I owe tons of money." And Patrick looks at it and says, "Well, they did it wrong." That's why. And so he specializes in that. So I talk about this at length, not only because it's do your own research, and we want our viewers to be educated as well as entertained. Educated and know about all these things, but we want you to make sure that you do things correctly, because when you don't, you contribute to the bad name that the bad actors give crypto and the digital assets industry. It's young, it's growing, you need to do things right, because then the government looks at all the data and says, hey, everyone's doing everything right. That's fine. That word gets out to the regulators. No, the people aren't cheating their taxes anymore. We solved that problem. Then they're happy with us. Do it. Do that. Make the government, make the tax man happy by filing correctly. You got to pay your taxes, ladies and gentlemen. You can't, if you come up with some crazy scheme that works, great. You've probably spent more time figuring that out than you did trading and making money. But the best thing to do is just pay the man and be done with it. And if you've done it incorrectly, go down to Camuso CPA. In the body of this email, there's a link to his website, an intake form, in which you can say, hey, I need to be evaluated. They will look at your case and see how they can help you. And please, and when they say, how did you hear from us? Say, I heard from Striking. I heard from Pedro. I heard from DYOR Media. Something, because these things all help us out. And help us get to that, buy Tom a new computer thing, and buy Pedro some new Air Jordans for Christmas. I don't know if Pedro wears Air Jordans or not, but anyway. That's my pitch about Camuso CPA. And also, yesterday we had, while Pedro was off, we had Audit Chain's lead financial architect on, Jason Myers, talking all about what's up with Bitcoin ETFs and the potential downsides from it. AutoChain has been the sponsor of our channel for about a year now. I appreciate that. And having Jason come on and give his expert opinion about the unpopular opinion. The unpopular opinion is that ETFs are not good for the industry. It may be good for short-term prices, but overall, it's going to wind up, the general consensus amongst the naysayers is that 12 organizations are going to end up owning most of the free Bitcoin and manipulating the market. Because let's remember, with the ETFs, they can also short sell it. They can create shares and short sell them too, which will have a negative effect on price. So thank you to our sponsors, and as this year wraps up, I look forward to having our sponsors continue with us, if they are so kind, and also potentially some new sponsors. And if you are interested, Pedro, hope you, in our world of influence, if we both have contacts with other people to bring in some new sponsors, because we want to do, in the new year, we'll have new viewers, we want to do new segments. I'd like to get a sponsor for Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked specifically. And I'd like to put together more visits to trade shows and stuff like that, and have Pedro and I do our show live from a few trade shows. So that needs sponsorship money. So if you ever are involved with a company that does sponsors crypto talk shows and that type of stuff, I know there's more than two of you out there. There's got to be someone else. Please get in touch with us, and we will help get the word out about your brand via our mouths. How about that? There is the sponsor talk for today.
Love it. It's interesting. I was sitting there. So I actually found ICP in the last bull run, right? And I went through, and as we started to sell off, I started paying attention to this, and so it was really interesting that it literally in October went from $2, $2-ish, $2-3. Literally now it went all the way up to $11, and it's sitting around $9. So that's really impressive. This was the internet computing ICP, and I just thought that was so interesting. Like,
holy crap, that's their stock?
No,
or
not
not their stock, their
the token.
Token price?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
I had written them off.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's exactly like who. Right. And I just remember being like, oh, so it's, I would go through, look at a lot of the, ones that were in the past that were kind of written, that had great projects, but just sold off. Right. Go through, maybe go back and through your system and see. Right. And there's a lot of new stuff out there, like Kaz, right? Like Kaz is pumping. Right. Oh, nice. Still, there we go. Nice. It came down, and now we're starting to see consolidation. It's still hitting that 8-period moving average on CAS. But the key, though, is like, and I've talked about, we have these lower zones sitting at, no, that's not CAS. This is CAS. Here we are. At these levels here, this is where I'm looking at going, all right, yeah, we're starting to still fill off that 8. I still like that you should, if like I've talked about, putting your first part of your bag at this level right here at that 10-cent mark.
What price did I just circle here?
That is the 5-4 cent area. So
and
that is the
what do we
area.
Got here? What's it bouncing off of?
So this actually is bouncing off all the moving averages that kind of consolidated underneath it, and so they were building a position. So this is one of the things that I do look for, right? Like, so when we hit an area of supply, and we've hit that area of supply previously, so this is the original supply, we come up, we hit it, and we put in a lower high. Remember I always talk about, we just put in not lower high, a higher low. Typically I sit there and I go, we want to pay attention to this level right here, because a lot of times it'll break through. So I'll sit there and go, here's a pullback. And this is kind of similar to what is actually happening currently right now, right? Where it dropped, it put in, it drops again. And then this is kind of like what I'm looking for. And so you can see here that this was a previous mid level right here, right? And then it rallied up, came back down. The previous level from the previous low was about right here, mid level. And so you could kind of see how it's going to react. Right, so we should see it come down to this previous low, or mid-level to low, potentially low here, right? and then from there, see it then create a mid-level right here, or hit up a new a lower high, but then, excuse me, a lower high. Then from there, put in a higher low. And as you start to see it, you can typically either it comes in 2 or 3 pairs, where they go in, they'll push it up, then come back down, boom, but it'll be a higher low, and then from there, see it again, and it happens maybe one other time, maybe 2 times, but it's them really going back and establishing a position within a coin, a stock, because a lot of times, like we've talked about this, is institutions will put in, like if Miss Cathie was trying to get into CAS, she would maybe start right here. It would shoot up, right? As it sells off, she'd buy again. So she's dollar cost averaging where her position is going to be. And she won't buy until it comes back down because there's no demand at these levels. Okay.
Right.
And what happens is at these lower levels, she goes and buys. And then after that, pushes it up. And she doesn't want it to take off. So she may try to suppress that by shorting it or whatever she would need to do. Then bring them back down. As it's coming down, then she's buying up all the sellers that are literally selling. And then from there, you're right, because she doesn't have an overwhelming side of, it's more sell buy versus buy sell algorithm. And then when it hits a certain price point, she goes in with the large buy and then puts in. So that's how
Makes
they
the
work.
money, turns the money printer on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Leo, this is another one that I thought about a while back.
What was the last one you were looking at?
That was CAS.
Oh, okay. So I still have the
CAS
label
was-
up right. So now you're on Leo.
Yeah, so Leo, yep.
I don't even know
Leo
what that
was
is.
one of those things I kind of was looking at, and just kind of been, again, it had some decent stuff, but it's one of those things that I was looking at, just seeing where they sit. As you can see, it's not really posting, but it is building up kind of like the same look that I'm looking for, right? Talk about which reached up, try to go, and then push again, it couldn't.
Seems
right.
to be bouncing off this level here, though.
Right, but you want to make sure that it bounces, right? Like, and can it go lower? Well,
Everything can
Here-
go lower.
exactly. So, like, again, you don't throw everything in, right? You simply go, okay, well, we are a potential dollar cost averaging, right? So this is a decent area right here. But if you look at the overall market, you can sit there and see that it potentially could do another sell off. So I'm kind of waiting to see what it's going to do. Is it going to sell off at these lower positions, or are we going to see it rally? Look at Link, and I think Link was really interesting because we saw Link really rally hard. They have a great protocol. They've got great systems. They are pretty much one of the backbones of crypto with what they're doing. So I sit there and I say, you know what? What's a fair price, right, for Link? Around $5. You can sit there and see it. Like when we had the sell off. So when you see it now starting to rally, where would it come back down to? Potentially right here, this
Right.
mid-level point. Right, that $10 potentially even come down to that 200 100 period moving average, right? It's not rallying hard. I'm thinking because we have a cyclical effect with meme coins, then you have your altcoins, and you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, major coins, right? And you see this cycle during bull runs where it transfers from one sector to another sector, and people are making money throughout that as it increases, they sell off part of that portfolio, right? And they put it into a lower performing sector, okay? And so what they're able to do is they sell it off, right? So it puts a peak, they throw a sell off, they take some of that money, they put it into another asset class that is not, and this is called what's it called? Cyclical asset allocation. I forget the exact terminology, forgive me. When I had my series 6 and 65, we actually had to learn about it. For all you guys out there,
You don't still have it?
to take those. No, I do not.
Oh.
I actually let it go because I did not want, because there's a lot of trading fees when you have those.
Oh,
They
and you
actually
have to
charge
abide by
more
their
money at the
rules too.
professional. Yeah, and there are some differences, but obviously I don't work for a firm, and I don't need to keep that. I don't
Right.
need to be, and I don't want it. And I don't want to be.
Yeah, you
air
forget
quote
that you
a
have to pay to
professional.
keep paying to keep that and continuing education
Yeah.
courses and all that type of stuff.
Yep. Yep. Your Series 7, your Series 6, your 63, your 65. It's a pain. But anyways,
Carmen,
I
if
say
you're
that
listening
because
out there, hold on a second. Carmen was just retweeted our Twitter stream. Thank you, Carmen, for tweeting that out and retweeting it, liking it, etc. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mrs. Carmen, Ms. Carmen Crypto.
where in the
The
world
world is Carmen Crypto.
Dun,
But we
dun,
know
dun.
it's Vegas. I haven't had the DYOR live logo up today.
So I look at these coins like Litecoin, right? Litecoin breaks my heart. Uh, and I'm like, oh, come on, Litecoin. Like, what's up with you? It's wah wah wah. I'm just still impressed with this community here that they're doing a great. I wonder what they're gonna do. Is this thing gonna explode again? You know, in the next bull run, or is this the final hurrah?
When did they stop? They used to track Bitcoin almost identically, and they don't seem to do that anymore.
Absolutely not. I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
mean an
back.
exact price. But the graphs, you used to be able to overlap them, and they looked exactly the same. When did that stop happening?
I don't know. I do not know. Because of all the stuff that's actually happened with Lunic and like that, it's not up. It's not current, right? Like it's just. And that was crypto, a month is a year, and a year is like a century. I don't want to say a century, but it's like a decade. So like, because most of the time, every decade or two, we have a big sell-off in the market, right? And every 4 years, 3 years, we have a big sell-off in the crypto market. So that's what I mean by that. But look, I think what I find interesting is this. Theta, was it you who brought me Theta?
Not me.
I think, yeah, somebody brought it up, and so I started following it and looking at it. And
Feta?
what's interesting is Theta, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said with an F, like feta cheese. I was like, I haven't heard
Oh,
of that
Feta.
one.
Oh no, Theta.
No, it wasn't
Right, so
me
I
that
started
brought up that. I call it theta, but
Theta.
that was an
Oh, it is
alternative.
Theta. You're right.
Whatever.
Yes, Theta. Forgive
Depends
me.
where you're from.
Yes, it's Theta. But you can see here with Theta, like it's starting to show some strength here.
Yeah.
You put in, remember I talked about
The volume.
higher high,
Volumes.
lower high. Yeah. Volumes picking up, as you guys
I
can
forget.
see
What
here.
does theta do? What's their utility?
I don't know. I'm a chartist. I just look at the charts and I sit there
Right.
and I go, all right, this is looking. What is it? What is their utility? Do you know? You want to look it up real quick?
I will look it up.
Yeah. And what's interesting is one thing I do like about them is they hit a low. You can see that this supply area has been traded through. So here's this previous supply that hit larger time supply. Okay, this is like monthly and weekly supply. We hit it, we sold off. We came back, we took out this supply and eaten through this supply. And then we put a lower low here. Now, this is the key. If they can hold on to this and put a higher low right here where they go up and then come back down and put that lower high here, to me personally, I look at that and I go, man, that baby is looking real pretty, right? Like as I look at it. So like for me, it's one of those things that from a risk to reward ratio, we're talking this is sitting at $1, okay, $1.10, and it can get up to $16, right? So that's not a bad good return. Like if I'm looking at a chart over the next 16, and we all know, like once crypto gets going, 10x is on average what we expect.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like it just sounds so crazy. Like 1,000% over a 6-month period. I expect that. Like that's just crazy.
I expect my $1,000 to turn into $6,000 every time. Does it happen for me? No, of course not. But I expect it.
We do, but it's not unheard of to sit there. So for me personally, I'm looking at it going, that potentially could be a 16x. So it's not a bad play, right? If I'm looking at that, if it's already setting up what I want to see, right? I'm seeing things So, obviously you want to look at the community, make sure that it's not nuts, it's not toxic. But even then, some toxic communities are, I mean, they do good. I mean, just
Yes,
look at,
exactly.
so I'm not going to bring any names up, but we all know of them. So,
Plenty of toxic communities out there. There's
yeah.
plenty of them.
So here's another one. I mean, I don't want. Do you want me to close things up here real quick, or am I
No,
talking?
no, I've got some time here. I am going to take a quick break to use the, as they say, the facilities and refix my tea here. Why don't you give the SHIB talk for a while and.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll jump into SHIB in just a second. I think what's cool is the Uniswap. So Uniswap is. I remember looking at this back at $3. And I was sitting there looking at it going, all right, has this really hit the bottom? Right? Because I wanted to see more of this level back here in June. And so we went up, right? And once I started seeing these major sell-offs, I got a little timid. I was like, we'll see what happens. But once we started to put in this lower high and started seeing volume, I'm mad at myself here because I said, all right, around that $3 mark, if we come in and we put this lower high with volume, which we did right here at these levels, right, we definitely started pushing up. So for me, I was like, dang it. But I want to bring this up because this fits perfectly what I was just saying. What we want to see, right, is a higher low, a high or a lower high, and then a higher low, and then a higher high, right? And so now I'm looking for myself, like $5 Uniswap is not a bad price right here, right? You got $200-300 potentially, like I'll do whatever you want with it. But I'm definitely looking for myself to get in around that $4, $5 mark if we come back down to that level. Obviously, we've been playing off of moving averages, which I always bring up, right? That 20 and that 8 period. And then on top of that, we're probably going to be coming in to the weekly zone right here. And here you go. This is what I was about to bring up. You can see here that we've hit these levels and we've pierced these moving averages, which means it weakens it. We're starting to tap a root and find support on that 8 period moving average as we're moving up. So you can see here that the sell-off finding support and now potentially continuing up. And mind you, this is the weekly chart. So this isn't happening overnight, right? It's over a period. So it's potential to see this thing continue up potentially to that. And this is where our daily zone is going to come in, right? Potentially either up to the $9 mark or that $12 mark at these levels, simply because, right, where it would literally start to jump. And I wonder what you and I CP, it's give me 1 second. Uni, I just wanted to check their market cap here real quick. So the market cap is sitting at circulating volume market cap. Why am I tripping? 24, 3% total value locked, 4 mil. Why am I not seeing it? Charts, market. Why am I not seeing this? Market cap. Thank you. My eyes were like jumping over. You guys are like, go up, go up. I'll be signing off in a bit. There you go. You can see here that the market cap is sitting at about $3 billion here. So it's still got some good room to run. It's still the premier DeFi exchange that everybody uses, right, to get in, get out, and to get into coins and use as a transaction base. So it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens. And I don't know if it was the SEC. Somebody else was looking into them to check them out, right, kind of getting them in trouble. But it's a DeFi system, so it's really interesting to see what's actually going on. Yeah, that's it. I do like Uni. Now let's check out Shib here for a second for everybody. Shibaroo. Shib, Shibby Longstocking. All right. So as you guys can see, we've definitely hit above the supply zone here, and we definitely, but then it didn't sustain it. But right now we're kind of in between this level right here between that 1000 mark area and 9 mark area. This looks like it's holding. So for me, I'm sitting there looking at it going, it potentially could then continue up into, because it looks like they're kind of building a position here, even though volume is dropping. Potentially this could go up into that 17-16 area. But as of right now, if we do see a sell-off, because we are seeing a drop in volume, i.e. potential positioning, we could see this thing again sell off to, like I keep bringing up, that 7876 area, um, just simply because that would be another area where you would want to buy at these lows right here, or midway point, which could be the 903 900 area there at its base. Just one of those things you want to look at and check out overall. And that's it in a nutshell, I think.
Thanks for
I
holding
think.
down the fort there. I just had the worst case of hiccups
Oh no.
while I was taking a quick break there. I have this chicken in the fridge. I thought, oh, I'll just grab a quick bite of that, and it just went down funny, and so I made the mistake of putting some carbonated soda on top of it. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I didn't know if I was going to throw up, die. I wasn't choking on it, but I just had that you're like, well, that was not the right thing to do.
Oh
And then
man.
I started hiccuping,
Oh,
and I'm like, I can't talk. I can't even physically talk.
that is hilarious. You want to know something really funny? I was sitting there, and it's not funny. It's actually, let me phrase it. It's not funny, but I'm sitting there in a business meeting, right? And we're doing it over Zoom, and one of the guys is eating. Right, you can kind of see him. We're all talking over business and stuff like that, and he sits there, and all of a sudden he's like, and I'm like, well, I didn't look at him, but I heard it, and then also he just goes like, goes on mute, and then all of a sudden, so me and a couple of the other guys are talking, and then he comes on, he goes, "Oh my dear, oh my, I almost died. I'm like choking on this. I had nobody to sit there." And he's like, I had to do the Heimlich or whatever he was saying. And I started to laugh. I was trying not to laugh. 'Cause, I've had to save my own self. I've literally had to jump on a chair, hit my sternum to hit the air to pop it out. I was like, "Bah!" Right? Like I had to do my own Heimlich maneuver on myself. And he left a bruise for like almost 6 months, dude. Like it was like I had to jump on it. It was back in the day when I was in beauty school. Anyways, for another day, another time. But like I sat there, dude, and I just remember just being like, "Holy crap, bro! I almost died here." And then to watch him like just because you think you're dying, you're like, "I'm going to die!" Like, and I'm going to be dying in front of all these people, right? I felt so bad for him, but it was hilarious. Anyways, I'm glad you're alive and you're moving well, Tom. It's
I just
good.
had to turn myself off for a second again because I felt another one of those hiccups coming, and it was. I probably haven't felt that way since I was like 10 years old, and you had the most amazing hiccups in school, and everyone made fun of you.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
and I can still feel it.
It's tickling. It got you tickling.
It's feeling like dying, not tickling.
Death tickling at your throat.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna bring this up also. Dot was really looking pretty fire. It pumped pretty hard today, with decent volume. They've had pretty good volume coming in over the last 2 or 3 weeks. So it's been really interesting to sit there and see what's actually happening with Dot. We're putting in higher highs and higher lows. They come in, they hit this weekly supply and sold off hardly at all, and now they're already pushing through it. So that's a good sign that potentially seeing Dot run up to the next supply area, which would potentially be that $16 mark. So if you got in at these lower marks of $3, $4, good job. Like, and And a lot of people discounted DOT, especially after what was happening. A lot of people were sending DOT to Ukraine, and a lot of Ukrainians were selling off, right? So that they could just live, right? And, and you right there? He's dying over here. He's dying.
We've done a lot of shows, and I haven't had any issues.
It was time.
Yeah, it was time. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. So I think DOT is another one that's potential gem that we could see another revitalization of it. We're putting in higher highs, higher lows, and potentially just seeing things get moving again with them. I believe they're all-time high. Give me a second. It was like 7.
Chuck Jansen, thank you for watching. I need a sound effect for you. I need a sound effect for you. I got to come up with one. Here, let's see. Chuck is a doctor and a miner, so there's got to be a sound effect. I don't want to use sirens. Woo, woo. He's not that kind of doctor.
What about like a doctor?
Oh no! What we need to do is grab a line from what was?
Damn it, Jim! No, I'm only a doctor.
I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer. No, what's that old Chicago ER? Was that it? In which everyone runs around yelling, CBC, Chem 7, stat. Get one of those lines. Blood work, other types of stuff right away. There's something. I need to come up with a sound effect for Chuck. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, Chuck. I realize you're late. You're behind. You're not behind. I don't think I have the DVR feature you're on. I'm mentioning this at 1:44 Eastern time. So you're probably not late. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks for being one of the 40 people that have so far tuned in today at some point or another.
I appreciate you. Absolutely. If you could hit that like button.
Here we go. I just got it for Chuck. He says, no, I won't check your prostate. That means that you have watched, I'm betting you have watched Fletch, right? I'm betting you've watched Fletch. And you know the prostate exam in there, Fletch says what? So, Doc, using the whole fist there? Doc says, just be careful. All of a sudden, Fletch goes, Moon River, when the doc does the male prostate test. Us men can identify that. Exactly. I've just turned your whole career into a movie quote. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. That's how we treat our viewers.
Oh, that is so bad.
Chuck, we've been talking about a lot of things today. If there's anything you want us to hear about or anyone else does, please let us know. We've hit CAS, we've hit SHIB, we talked Solana. We have not. Chuck's invested in Cardano. I don't know if you've gone over Cardano.
No,
we've gone over taxes, and make sure you're doing your taxes, because if you've transacted more than $20,000 in USDC with USDC itself or any of its subsidiaries, your information's getting sent to the IRS. And we've talked about Cathie Wood being a money printer and the trading rules that she has, which fall into take profits at a reasonable time, which she did by buying Coinbase. First, never let a crisis go to waste. She bought Coinbase when it was tanking because of the SEC issues, and she made hundreds of millions of dollars. And then the other rule is that her friend Warren Buffett taught her. I don't know if they're friends. I'm paraphrasing. Industry stalwarts here, is that make sure you're doing the best use of your money. And so that doesn't mean sell at a loss, but to put your money somewhere else. You can even be selling at a small profit, but if your expectation is 20%, like Warren Buffett, and you're only making 5%, then it's time for you to sell. And it's good to have those hard rules that you abide by and to keep the emotion out of it. So that's what we were talking about today, Chuck, and for all of the others of you that got this far in the show but started in late. So at your convenience, roll back the tape and go to the beginning, and you can watch the show from the start. It's a long one today. We're at about an hour and a half now, a little over that. But got a lot to talk about, and Pedro and I are having a little fun, including me nearly dying.
Actually, I just realized something. I think I had a previous engagement, so I'm actually gonna have to give me 1 second and wait 1 moment, and I'll check something. So forgive me for my time.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Pedro's got to make a real-world phone call again. We'll switch over to the... Why isn't it switching over to the studio? But anyway, we'll go back to earlier. We were talking about what does Theta do, and Pedro had asked for that, and nobody could remember what it was. But quickly, as it says right here, a blockchain infrastructure for video, AI, and entertainment, the Theta Edge Cloud. The first hybrid cloud computing platform powered by the Theta Edge network. Earn some T-Fuel by simply sharing your PC, Mac, and Linux box resources. I do remember talking about these guys a while ago, and I thought it was a very good idea. But then I believe that their stuff did what everyone else's did after 2021 and went in the tank. So they got off my radar. But they seem to be coming back right now. Pedro's going over them, and I can't remember what he was saying. Cool map here. Live nodes. Apparently Chicago's the hub of a good spot for live nodes for Theta. Can't zoom in anymore. I wonder why Chicago's so big for them. I wonder if they're based here. Let's find out about doc support, about kind of blockchain media and entertainment. Blockchain advisors, investors, Sony. Oh, they've got some serious investors. Huh. Yeah, it doesn't say where they're from. Chuck or anybody else, if you know anything about Theta and how they're performing, let Pedro and I know, because I think this is going to be one we're going to start tracking here.
Yeah, so my calendar for today's appointment was set for Monday, not Monday, but for a previous day, and I, for whatever reason, need to get going. So I apologize to everyone here. Somebody just called me up and was like, "Hey, we're supposed to be meeting up." And I'm like, "No, that's so and so." And he goes, "No, that's today at this." And I was like, "Oh no, I think I." So I got.
Not that any of us have done that before. No.
So forgive me, guys. I apologize. But tomorrow we can do another show if you guys want to.
Yeah.
I should be open for the morning and somewhat in the afternoon, so we can figure that out. But guys, have a blessed time. If we don't meet up tomorrow, and we'll do something on Tuesday or something.
Pedro, right before you go, I had the screen up for Theta, what they're about, and yes. The best way to describe it is in the media blockchain. They've got all sorts of investors like Sony and groups like that, and I think it's something that we should put on our watch list. That's you know what? That's a good point. Let's develop a watch list for us so we can track these things, and I can put a graphic up of Pedro and Tom's watch list. Watch list doesn't need to be, oh, these are gonna 100x. It just needs to be, these are interesting, so let's talk and learn about them. And so Chuck wants to learn about Theta then, so let's start doing that. I'll develop a little graphic for it, and we can put a couple of things on it. Some by us and some by our viewers. Say, hey, I'd like you to watch these.
I love it. I actually love that. That's actually brilliant. All right.
Have a great day, Pedro. We will see you tomorrow.
You too, guys.
Probably in the morning tomorrow at some point, because the afternoon will be Friday, and there will be some holiday drinking involved.
There will be. All right, guys. All right. Wish me a safe drive, because I'm about to fly like an eagle going down on a prairie dog. Anyways, I gotta go.
What the hell that was? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to turn his microphone off right now before that gets any worse. Anyway, let's get the news back on. I had some good stories up here to talk about. I've got about 10, 15 minutes left. If anyone has anything they want to talk about, now that our technical analysis guy has gone away, I would be glad to look at a chart for you, but you will get an entertainment about it, not education about it. That's the difference. Chuck, we were talking about FTT earlier. Believe it or not, that's a token that may have a future. It's down 99%, as we all know. But with the rumors coming out that it's going to come out of bankruptcy. Hold on, I got to get on the right chart here, the daily. It's going to come out of bankruptcy. Now this is, I'm going to do the technical analysis here. This is the the FTT chart. And what would... well, this is a lower low here. I guess it was... Just moved something. Oh, I don't have the whiteboard on this one. Let's go back to here. No, I don't have that set up right. Close Pedro, close TV, Tom screen. Tom screen? Nope, not that one. All right, I don't have that set up right. Anyway, here, this is not a bad looking chart. You know, this is that FTT? Yeah, it's FTT USD. This can come back. So we're going to put that on our watch list too. I know that sounds like heresy. Why would you track Sam SBF's coin? Well, the bankruptcy judge has recently said that the bankruptcy proceedings are going along fine and they're probably going to exit it soon. And so has the executor of the company, John Jay, whatever his name is, that they might even relaunch the exchange with significant liquid assets. And so that would be something. That would be something. So that's going to go on the watch list too. I'm going to do something and write these down. We've got on the Tom and Pedro list. We got to come up with if anyone's got a good nickname for the Tom and Pedro watch list. I don't just want to call it the DYOR live list. Need to come up with something for that. Obviously, let's see. Not just the big names. You can look at them, but something to say, hey, we need to talk about these fairly regularly because they're interesting. Oh, so I got to respond to the old brother-in-law. Where can we buy FTT? I think I looked at that, and it was a couple of exchanges still have it. Bitmart, Gate.io. Obviously, probably offshore ones. Let me look at this chart here. FTT, FTX token, right? This time frame. Let's see. I don't have my whiteboard running on this screen. Let me add the whiteboard here. Let's see. Scenes, widgets, whiteboard. Let's make sure it's not drawing in white here. Settings, blue. There we go. Hey, look at that. But let's go back to the page here where it talks about where they are traded. Gateway Crypto, Gate.io, FTT token. This is the token that's trading at Pionex, Bitmart, Jupiter, Nominex, CoinDXC, Gate.io. I'm guessing these are all Chinese exchanges. Although the one Pionex says this at $4 million, what's 3 asterisks in 24-hour volume. Significantly differs from the cryptocurrency's price excluded from the overall. Okay, so what they're saying is that these prices, the prices on exchanges, the FTT token may not be fully tradable. So the prices on exchanges are variable. If a token is not tradable between exchange through the DeFi world, well, it's available on PancakeSwap. Then the price could get out of line because the exchange becomes an island, and it's hard to arbitrage it. I know we could be speaking out. Pedro and I could be speaking out our ass on this one completely, but let's see. All right. FTT token. Well, there's a BNB version of it. And on Gate.io, let's see, the ETH price is ETH price matches what we saw 0.0016, and no, it doesn't. It's 10. I don't know. I can't figure this one out. But it's like Luna. You know, Luna went down to zero, almost zero, and people, just little bumps of people trading it, people 10x their money. But on not next Monday because it's Christmas. Now, let me get the old calendar out here. Next Monday, I will be flying to Toronto to spend Christmas with the Mrs. Striking's family. And then I'll be back in Ottawa a few days later. So Christmas week, while I would like to be live every day, I'd like to do a Christmas special. But we won't. We need to start something called like Meme Coin Mondays or something. The meme coin market is blowing up, and we need to have a little fun with it. We just do. Let's see. Let's look at where would we find the best meme coin news? Cointelegraph. Wow, check this out. I didn't know. We got a little bit of news here from in Argentina. In Argentina, it's a soft G, not a hard G. We Americans or English people give it a hard G. Contracts can be settled in Bitcoin, says the foreign minister, following a decree by the Argentine government. Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Trade and Worship, National Trade and Worship of Argentina has claimed that a decree legalizing the use of certain currencies and contracts for payments would apply to Bitcoin. Yeah, sure enough, here it is. Let's look at that. Here's the foreign minister of Argentina. Mama y abuela. Oh, of course, it's in Spanish. Pedro, where are you when I need you? I open up one in Spanish. Thankfully, I have the translate post. We ratify and confirm that in Argentina, contracts can be agreed and settled in Bitcoin. How about that? How about that? The new president came in and said, I'm shaking things up, and he's doing it. Let's see. What else we got today? Hold on. Have I had my music playing in the background? Let's switch it to this one. Left Chuck's comment up too long. If you guys see me leave a comment up for more than a minute, say something. Say, hey, he left the comment up. Because sometimes I don't always see the way I have my studio set up. I have my switcher software and stuff like that. And the actual screen that gets broadcast that has the comments on it, it gets put behind on it. I used to be able to see it, but what happened, Tom? I got mad at something, and I threw my hat down on my desk that I was wearing, and I missed my desk and hit my monitor, and it broke the monitor. So I'm short a monitor, so I have windows behind each other, and I leave comments up too long. So if you see me leaving a comment up for longer than 20 seconds, call me out on it, because it's not right. Let's see, where are we with this? I want to thank everybody for watching. So far, we've had, before I hit a few more news stories here. Let's see. My show ended on Twitter. Twitter, when you say it's going to end at a certain time, it just turns it off. Just turns it off. Anyway, for Twitter, we had 17 people tune in. Thank you very much. Twitter, the attention span is real short, so getting them to watch more than 2 seconds at all is a deal, and they have. So more than 17 people watched for a couple of minutes. Thank you very much. On YouTube, we've had 21 people tune in at an average view of 12 minutes, which is right around our average. And we've had 8 likes. And so that's good. Really appreciate it. We were not live on LinkedIn today. I don't go live on LinkedIn every day. You don't want to overwhelm the people there. But I like to focus on when I have an interviewee broadcasting on LinkedIn. And Twitch gave us a few viewers, and Kick Kick gave us 1 viewer, and that's the first one in a long time. Whoever it was that was watching on Kick, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And the tabs I had open for news, let's just finish those so I can delete them from my screen and not have to worry about them ever again. Oh yeah, I've been talking about this. Bitcoin traders see 48,000 BTC price before the ETF sell the news event. A BTC price correction is less likely going into the ETF decision, but such an event would be healthy for Bitcoin overall, people say. Pedro and I talk about this all the time, how things are... it's healthy for things to have a small corrections. People need to take profits, not just have everyone load up into huge profits and then dump it all at once. Let's see. Still up 6% week over week. The largest cryptocurrency announced gave some market participants pause for thought. Correction seems necessary. BTC chart continues to look very strong on all time frames. Trading team Stock Money Lizards wrote in part of its latest market update on X. Well, as you can see here, Bitcoin is trading in a little area there. Let's see, make sure I can. Yeah, it's not that big here, but you should be able to see it. That's one of the news things I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, DeFi's little secret. Magazine by Cointelegraph. That's who wrote this article. When a DeFi platform is hacked, suspicion often falls on insiders who are the most familiar with the smart contracts and security procedures and are therefore most likely to be able to devise an exploit. But are insiders really responsible for most DeFi hacks? It seemed like a major scoop for on-chain sleuth Librahash. In September 22, he reported that a $160 million hack of Wintermute was likely an inside job. It exploited a bug in a smart contract that Wintermute used to generate vanity wallet addresses. Oh yeah, I remember these guys. Right. According to Librahash, real name James Edwards, go find him on Twitter to get the source of this material yourself. In a lengthy analysis of the hack, the relevant transactions initiated by an externally owned address that made the call, yada, 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 and it was likely an internal member of the team. But what seemed what is an open and shut case was not so simple to prove to the world at large. Wintermute, an automated market maker, vehemently rejected the theory, stating it emanated from an unsubstantiated rumor from a Medium page that has factual and technical inaccuracies associated with the claims made. In fact, I remember this article now. Blockchain security firm Blocksec wrote an analysis concluding that the report is not convincing enough to accuse the Wintermute project. Conclusive proof of inside jobs is tricky. Of course, they have the SafeMoon guy here. It's not surprising that Librahash's report, despite its technical specificity, has not gone unchallenged. In the murky world of DeFi hacks, few have been definitively attributed to insiders. There's been plenty of suspicion and conjecture about inside jobs and speculation as to how deep the problem goes. But pinning a hack on an insider has been very difficult. There are some well-known examples. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There are well-known examples of insiders behaving badly. Thanks for coming back, Space Cat. Appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if this plays properly.
Space, the final frontier.
Couldn't do it. Yes, I'm still on the air. I'm just wrapping things up, Space Cat. Thanks for tuning back in. Really appreciate it. But what I was talking about some well-known examples of insiders allegedly behaving badly. John Crony, CEO of SafeMoon, and 2 colleagues were arrested last month for allegedly looting the Utah crypto firm for millions of dollars worth of its tokens to purchase luxury vehicles, real estate, yada, yada, yada. NFT creator Remilia Corp, meanwhile, disclosed in September that a developer who worked on its Bonkler collection, I've never heard of this one, took steps that allowed it to divert more than $1 million from the generated fees. I don't know if any of you guys remember 2 movies. One was, I think it was Superman 3 with Richard Pryor, in which Richard Pryor played a computer guy that learned how to steal 1 cent from every transaction his company made. Or the movie, of course, Office Space, a famous cult movie. Yeah, that one. In which I can't remember the actor's name or this character in the show. Him and his friends devised a way to steal the rounded off 3 and 4 decimals from the company, but instead he got a decimal off and they stole $300 and some thousand for the company. Good old-fashioned way to do it, 1 penny at a time. Clearly, there have been many projects that were rugged, says Neville Gresh, co-founder of blockchain security firm DDoB, referring to rug pulls in which crypto developers drain their own projects of investor funds. Outside of rug pulls, there have been instances where projects were hacked a few hours after a fix has been made to a public code base. But the fix would not have been deployed yet, so probably a keen follower of the project was involved. Well, that's something I've gone about in the past. There's a lot of people that watch this show are crypto investors, but a lot of people also on the inside and are devs on a project. And I've been a dev, not really a dev, but I've been part of a team. And if your project relies on a GitHub distribution of something, you have a dApp, or you have a swap platform, or you use a JavaScript library that's maintained on GitHub, you have to watch that every day. You have to have an alert. You have to be part of that community. You can't just grab 10 GitHubs, put them in your project and go, yay, it's great. If one of those projects on GitHub gets hacked or a major vulnerability is disclosed, you need to update your project immediately. And a lot of people don't watch it that closely. But you know who does watch the GitHub and commits are the hackers, in which they notice, like, if, for example, if Uniswap posted something that said, oh, we've got a bug here, the hackers are going to go say, oh, we're going to go and hack it right now. So what everyone does is they watch that so that everybody can patch it once right away, so that there's been plenty of cases, this happens in the DEX world, where someone will just say DEX Exchange 1, wrote the GitHub for it, and left it out there on a common Creative Commons license that anyone can use the code and copy it, or just steal it since it's crypto. And so a new DEX opens up, and the first DEX says, oh, there's a smart contract problem here, quickly replaces the smart contract with a new one or fixes the code, whatever. But the DEX that forked it and copied it, it wasn't paying attention. And then within an hour, they're hacked and lose a couple of $1 million. I reported on that over and over and over again on Rug, Droned, and Wrecked. And the guys at Wrecked.news report on that a lot. So if you're a dev in a project and you're not like the dev, you need to ask the dev, hey, what did we take from open source? What did we take from GitHub? And how are we maintaining that we have the most current? How are we maintaining patches? And how is that being, who's got the phone that's getting the alert saying, hey, we're pushing out a 0-day exploit here, patch. These are things to know. All right, I wanted to talk about that. That's been actually on my thing to talk about for a while, but this news article just pushed it to the top. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm at the end of the show, and there are still people watching this, which is great. As I love it when there are a dedicated crowd of people, a core group of people that actually watch to the end. It's kind of amazing, and I really like it. So to all of you that joined in today, from Pedro and I, we'll be on the air tomorrow. I have a little Christmas special. We'll not be on the air on Christmas itself. You know, it's entirely possible we could do a weekend edition here. So pay attention. We might, maybe we'll be on the 24th. We might be able to do a Christmas Eve special, but during the day because everyone's busy on Christmas Eve. I don't know. We'll figure it out. As you know, as all of you know, Pedro and I are always keen to talk and entertain people, especially for those of us like me who don't have the kids with them all the time, or the wife with all the time. She's in Canada right now. Mrs. Striking's enjoying a little time with her mom and dad. And mine are in Florida, and my sister and brother-in-law are on their way down there. So it might be Christmas Eve with Pedro and I. I know it's all what everyone said. Can't wait to spend my Christmas Eve with Pedro and Tom. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got to that point once again, as I like to say. Finish with a little music too. Yeah. As I like to say, everybody, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. Let's do it. Christmas Eve special. It would either have to be early or late, because I have the kids for dinner on Christmas Eve. So maybe during the day sometime we'll get her done. Pedro and I will discuss that tomorrow. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Give us some good ideas for our watch list name. For those of you I noticed the viewer accounts have changed in a few places. People actually joined us. Show is over. One of the things we're looking for is feedback from people. Pedro and I are going to develop a watch list to keep on the side of the thing over here to talk about fairly regularly. And not just ones that we come up with, but maybe some that our viewers say, hey, could you watch this and talk about it regularly? We'll definitely do that. But we need a name for it. It's got to be a fun name. You know, not like if it was bad, it would be the wrecked list, rugged, ruined, wrecked list. If it's good, you know, it's the moon list. And if it's just watching it, there's got to be something in the middle. We know there's a name there. There's got to be a name. There's got to be a name. We got to come up with it. We'll have a little watch list, have a little fun. But anyway, that's all we got for today. Ladies and gentlemen, I take you out to my West Wing sounding credits roll. So thank you very much for joining again today. Everyone have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.